Hello, this is Taylor Withers, and I'm here with Eva Cook, and this is Everyday Losers, our first show since September of 2008.
A year and 3 months, 4 months.
Yes, it has been a while.
Not good, but we're back, and we're hoping to stick around for a lot longer than that.
Yes, we are. We just did our weekly weigh-in, and I think we're both happy and we're both sad. I'm sad because when I last weighed in back in September, I was down 40 pounds from my highest weight. And now I am 4 pounds over what my highest weight was at that point. So I am at 319.
Whoops. Yeah, I am. When I had. I just don't want to talk about it. No, I'm kidding. I weighed in here for a weigh-in, and it's about 7 pounds more than it's supposed to be because it's a different scale, just so you know. I weighed in at 225. My high weight starting Everyday Losers, I had it here a minute ago.
20 minutes ago.
Shut up. was two, I think it was 224.
224, 225, 20,000.
I just had it.
Well, this is what happens when you don't prepare.
I was prepared.
Well, as Eva's looking for her weigh-in, one of the things that we wanted to kind of start incorporating into the show, because we are coming back on a hopefully weekly basis, is to have people email us at everydaylosers@gmail.com. You can also... You'll be able to follow us on Twitter. If you go to our website, everydaylosers.blogspot.com, you'll find links to our Twitter and even voicemail if you'd like to leave us a voicemail. And you'll be able to, we'll read your emails and such and all that good stuff.
Okay, I figured it out. It was 229 was my starting weight on Everyday Losers when we started.
Okay.
I had lost about 16 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I was down to about 213. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like 213, and then I re-weighed in August, and I was at 242.
Oh wow! So your highest went up too.
Yeah, my highest was 229 pounds, and then when I weighed in this August we just had,
when we started going to the gym.
We started going to the gym. It was 242, so I had gained an extra 13 more pounds.
Isn't it crazy? Like in a year, that you can gain that much weight. I gained over 50 pounds. And, there's a lot of reasons why, and we'll get into that. But one of the things we want to start incorporating is every week we want to talk about our highs and lows. This week's high for you, Eva, was...
going to the gym and doing 2 classes together.
Oh,
doing
awesome.
a 2-hour workout.
Yeah.
I did a hip-hop dance class, and then after that I did a kickboxing type class.
Awesome.
And I'm still hurting from 2 days ago.
But you made it through both of them.
I did. And my boyfriend didn't even make it through. And he didn't do the first one. He did his own little thing for a half hour, and then he did half of the kickboxing class, and then he left. He's like, I'm tired, and he went and left.
And back in August, do you think you could have done that?
No.
No. Yeah.
No.
Just absolutely no.
No. There's no way. I'm hurting, but I mean, it's not the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
I mean, I paid for a year. But those classes have been pretty excellent.
I've been thinking about trying the one you told me about that it kind of mixes yoga and Pilates. Mm-hmm. Because of my knees and my ankles, it's really hard for me to do anything that has a lot of impact.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about doing those and giving those a try. Because classes are... I remember back when I lost my 40 pounds, they were really integral for me to lose. I was doing spin classes, which I would actually like to get back into doing.
Right.
Because that's not a lot of bad on your ankles, which is where I have most of my pain. And then I was thinking, something like that. And I took yoga years and years ago, so that was nice and relaxing and refreshing. So I thought, well, maybe I'll try that with you at some point if you're interested in doing that.
I think so. I'd like to be under 200 pounds before I start doing spin. I don't know why, but I just feel that I want to be. I'm pretty close to it. I mean, when I waited at the gym...
if you can do 2 of those classes, you should be able to spin without issue.
Oh, probably. It's my butt. I don't want that seat on my butt.
But no matter how big your butt is, that seat's gonna hurt the first week. I'm gonna tell you, no matter how big it is, because my ass is big. excuse my language. Yeah. My butt is big, but it's just the way it is.
Do you know about how much you've lost since you joined the gym? Have you lost anything?
I don't remember weighing when I first went. I did. I've gone down. I think it's 7 pounds since starting the gym, which isn't a lot. But I haven't.
Have you gained it back, or are you still at that point?
No, I'm still down 7 pounds from where I started at the gym.
Okay.
But I was down like 15, and then I keep going back and forth.
I'm down 24 pounds since starting the gym.
Yeah. So if it's been, that for me, my weekly high has been just kind of. I'm coming to terms with my weight and where it is, and like the psychology of why I'm here,
right? And
not so much because that's something a lot of people don't really consider when they talk about losing weight. Thin people often look at fat people and go, "Just stop eating." If it was that easy,
yeah, exactly.
Great, I'd be right on top of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm doing some new things, and I'm kind of beginning to understand where my eating issues are coming from, but those are our highs. What about challenges this week?
Biggest challenge, I ate out once this week. It was easy because of the money. Didn't have the money to really eat out. I ate at a Chinese restaurant on Sunday, so that'd be yesterday. But just trying not to eat the whole thing. But I did get full at a good point, so I think that helped a ton. But I think just trying to be careful with my food this week. I was very calculated on my calorie intake this week.
Good.
So I did pretty good this week, I think, overall. But it was a challenge to do that. Just to get because my calories are just over 1,400. It's like 1,426 and a day. And it's really difficult to do that, I think. And, when my boyfriend's got, an extra 1,000 a day to use, and I'm just like, Urgh.
Yeah, and you see...
Because we're eating the same things, and, I mean, he gets to eat more, and it's just like, I wish I could have a little bit more. But instead of having a whole portion, I'll eat like a quarter portion or a half a portion more, So I just try to say, I still have, these many more calories to eat. I guess I can have like another piece of potato, or I can have another little piece of meat. So,
well, for me, my challenge this week was pretty much the same thing: food. I think that's our challenge every week. But for me, it was also it was my night eating. Is eating towards evening, like after dinner.
Yeah.
For some reason, I get during the day, I'm not very hungry, and I'm not sure why. But I find myself sometimes eating at night, like just ravenously. And that's even after having like 3 meals and snacking throughout the day. I don't know. I honestly think it's psychological in some way, shape, or form.
Part of it's probably too is that you're busy during the day. You're doing other things.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not.
No.
Not me. Not right now. Because of my disability and things right now. But so I'm not, and that's the thing that I'm actually usually busier at night than I am during the day. And so I'm not sure. That's been my challenge this week, and it's not one that I've overcome, but it's one that I'm definitely working on. But so we both decided that it was time to come back and start doing Biggest Losers.
Everyday Loser.
Everyday Losers. There we go. Biggest Losers.
We've been watching the show.
We were just watching that show, not too long ago. And though I'm not a huge fan of it, for me it was. I
like the show.
I like the show, but I'm also
it's not very realistic for people. Unless they're there.
Exactly.
Unless they're in that kind of situation. But even then, it's the only reason it's okay for them to do this because they've got the trainers, they've got the people with the know-how, they've got the healthcare people. Yep. They're keeping them safe, even though they're falling on their faces and bleeding everywhere. That was last week. But
we decided to come back and do Everyday Losers, more as again the reason we started it,
to be accountable
to each other and to ourselves and to other people, and to kind of journal our journey. Because both of us have, and this is something I don't think we see a lot on television or things, is people struggling. I mean, you like when we see when we watch Biggest Loser or other weight loss shows, oftentimes, they talk about all the right things to do, but they don't talk about the downfall sometimes. I mean, sometimes you see it, but a lot of times it always ends on that high note,
Right.
that motivation. And sometimes that's not how life is.
Yeah.
And I think, at least for me, I want that honesty, and I want that, us to kind of journal our journey and be honest in it and do what we can and hopefully reach a point with other people and with ourselves where we feel comfortable with our bodies.
Yep.
But so why did we stop back in 2008?
Because chicken wings taste good. That's one big reason right there. Number one, I think one big thing, time. It was a time issue.
Yeah, we both had time issues.
I have a new boyfriend at that time. Yeah,
Work?
I work. Yeah, we're working. I was working 2 jobs at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boyfriend was the big one right there, and he was all like, "Oh, I really like you," and he was really like, "See you for who you are," kind of person.
So you didn't care so much about.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
So at first, I kind of did, but then we got comfortable very fast. Where it was like, I didn't feel like I had to wear makeup every day, and I didn't feel like I had to hide my chicken wings,
Right.
those kind of things. So with comfort comes, unaccountability of not being able to
Right.
keep yourself in check if you're not. And sometimes being uncomfortable is good because then it makes you feel that you need to try.
It's a motivator.
It is. You need to try to do something to be better. Right. And even since I've joined the gym in August, just from this time, I've just seen so much of a difference in my body. My body is just so much healthier looking than it was. Even just losing the 16 pounds I lost last year when we started the Everyday Losers, that was just cutting out some stuff. That wasn't exercise. I didn't exercise at all.
Right.
And yeah, I had less weight on me, but I physically looked a little better than I did then, I think. And and I'm only 24 pounds down, and I've gone down. I'm wearing pants that I wasn't able to wear last year.
Well, they say that if you can lose 10% of your body weight from when you start, that's a good. That's when you usually start to see a difference. Right. And you said you started at what was it, 240?
242.
242. So that's 24 pounds. And you've lost 24 pounds.
Right.
And so, I mean, you're around 10% of your body weight is generally when you can really start to see a difference. Right. And you're going, wow, there's something to this,
Yeah, well, because you got the dreaded cankles, where it's all one big mass. And I was like, it was funny. It was like after being at the gym for like 2 months, I was like, oh, I have ankles again. I can see ankles. I was so excited. I was freaking out. I was so excited. It was like, that was like a huge thing right there, was just knowing that, there's a thinner person in me that's starting to show out. And that was really exciting to me.
That's how I felt when I first lost that 40 pounds. It really, because you really do. You start to see things that you were like, I remember seeing definition in my arms because I was lifting at the time. And I honestly, thinking back on it, I think that was the biggest thing that really helped me was the lifting. And that's one thing. I was actually going to start doing that again today until I twisted my ankle.
So you threw yourself on the ice.
Yeah, I threw myself on the ice so I wouldn't have to go to the gym, no. Yeah, until I went outside and slipped and fell and twisted my ankle. So I was going to go and start lifting again because I think that was really the thing where I really noticed the big things. Cardio, I think, is important too.
Yeah, it's a ton.
But I think it's also, I really think that, and everything I've read has actually said that if you can only do one, lift weights. If
really?
If you can only do one, because you don't see the results as quickly, but the results long term are more stable and generally will last.
Right.
Whereas
because you're building muscle.
Right. Whereas with cardio, you see the results more quickly, but they aren't as, I don't know how they put it. They're not as unless you're keeping that level of activity continuously, they're not as beneficial.
Probably not in the long run.
Yeah, and that's the thing. In the long run, they say if you can only do one, lift weights. If you can do both, you need to. And that's their thing. If you can do both,
combination
you
is
should.
best.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the big thing. And that for me, so it's kind of like, I'm like, okay, well, I know the weights are doing the thing for me, so that's what I'm going to try to get back to myself, is lifting weights. And I know for me, the big things that, the reason we quit, we stopped doing Everyday Losers was I was really struggling at that point with Weight Watchers. it's a program that's good and it works, and I think it's the healthiest program out there when it comes to eating. I'm not going to tell anyone they shouldn't do Jenny Craig or Nutrisystems or anything like that, but for the price, Weight Watchers really makes a difference. I mean, if you think about it, it's like $40 a month compared to $300, $400 a month.
Plus, you're making your own food. You're making your own decisions. You're understanding what you should be eating.
Exactly. You're learning instead of having somebody prepackaged food for you. And for some people,
that might be nice in some times, like if you're going on trips or if you're.
But that's something you can do even for yourself.
You can do that on your own, and it'd be a heck
of
a lot cheaper.
But like I said, I would never judge anyone for doing either of those things.
If it works for you, you should do it.
You should do it, exactly. Just I think the big thing is
still use a vacuum cleaner and try to suck fat out of your body.
Well, somebody actually emailed us and said that Weight Watchers, they tried it a long time ago, and that they just always felt hungry. And that's very true for me, in the sense that I did feel that way when I wasn't following the plan. If all I was paying attention to was the points, there were many times where I was just ravenous.
Right.
But if I was making sure I got my good health guidelines in, like eating my vegetables, getting my oils, getting my dairy in, I usually had trouble eating all my points. And I think that's the thing a lot of people don't think about when it comes to like Weight Watchers is it's not just points. There's more than just the points when dealing with the Weight Watchers, especially now they've gone to this new momentum plan. There's still the whole core idea if you want to do the core plan, but it's called Simple Foods now or something like that. But it's more about eating healthy. And that's the thing that I think if you follow Weight Watchers thinking, oh, I just got to eat my points and I can eat anything I want, you're going to be left eating. You're going to be left being hungry.
Right.
But if you follow the plan, for the most part, you're not going to be hungry all the time. Now, that's not saying it won't happen occasionally, because there are days where I would eat everything right and I would still be hungry. And that's what those 35 discretionary points are for. But for me, I think I'm definitely following the Weight Watchers plan to a point. I'm tracking my points. I'm tracking my good health guidelines now. But I'm also counting my carbs because I am diabetic.
Right. And
unfortunately, at the time that we started Everyday Losers, I was actually off of all my meds, and I'm now back on my meds because I gained all the weight back.
Right.
And my doctor was actually talking to me about insulin again, which is why I've really been struggling to get back to where I could be off my meds. And the way things are going, I'm not sure if I'll ever be off my meds again, even if I lose the weight. But I want to get it as close as possible so that if I can't get off my meds, at least maybe I can just stay on the oral medications instead of going to insulin. So for me, that's my reason for coming back, is because I want to lose weight, and I know it's a lifetime thing. It's not something you can give up on.
Right.
And one of the things I've been looking into is Overeaters Anonymous. And a lot of people are like, OA, they think of it as like, because it's really hard to think of being like overeating as alcoholism, in the terms of alcoholism. Because you think of an alcoholic, they think, oh, well, they can give up alcohol and live just fine. They can still survive if they don't drink. Whereas with an overeating, you have to eat. There is no not eating. If you don't eat, you die.
Exactly.
Which I think in some ways makes OA difficult, but I also think the principles are very sound. And I've just started going, and I'm kind of just reaching into it and seeing how I feel about it, because I've gotten to this point where I felt like, when I lost that 40 pounds, I was really motivated, and then I gained it all back, and I wasn't sure how or why. And I knew it was because I was obviously eating too much and I wasn't exercising. But why? I mean, why did I stop doing something that was working?
Right.
Why did I let my mind and let other things take over, so that I wasn't doing what I needed to do to take care of myself? And I think through OA, I'm just very, 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 very beginning to kind of understand maybe why that's happening, or why it happened. And hopefully with understanding will come, the ability to, if you understand something, sometimes it's easier to overcome it, and that's what I'm hoping, is that I'll be able to, take what I learn and understand that, it's not always winning. And that's how Weight Watchers was when I first started. When I first lost that 40, it was all winning. I was constantly winning. I was losing weight. I was doing this, and even on the bad weeks, I'd lose a little bit here and there. But then it got to that point where I stopped winning, and everything just kind of plateaued. And now and then it got so difficult, even with going to meetings and trying and talking to people, that and I don't know how it happened, but I gave up, and I don't know why I gave up. It was just, because we talked about it. Even at the time, I didn't so much as give up. I just stopped going to the meetings because I was like,
right.
Okay, I can't afford this right now, and I'm going to do it at home. But for some reason, it wasn't working. I wasn't able to keep counting those points and doing those things, and I'm even struggling with that right now. But I'm trying to understand more of the reason I'm emotionally eating, because I do eat emotionally. If I'm bored, boredom is my big one. If I'm bored, I want to eat. If I'm heavily upset about something, I want to eat. And I found myself actually, and I don't know if I've told you about this, but I found myself a few weeks ago where I was sitting down eating something. I'd gone out and gotten fast food because I'd wanted something to eat, and I wanted something really bad. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm craving this.
You're craving the fat. So
I went and got it, and I'm like, but I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this, I think it was a burger, and I'm going, this is bad for me. I should just throw this away. And I make something in the fridge, And I started eating it anyways, even though I was saying that to myself. And I actually found myself, I started crying.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here crying while I'm eating something I know is horrible for me, but I can't stop. Why am I doing this? What is going on?
Yeah.
And so that right now, that's my journey with EL and with Everyday Losers, is I want to kind of chronicle and journal my obsession with food.
Right. Until you get to the bottom of it, it's going to be really difficult.
Exactly.
It's going to be more difficult for you until you can get to understanding of it.
And I think the most difficult part for me, at least right now, is the fact that I was there. I'd lost 40 pounds. I was doing the things I needed to do. I was healthier in a lot of ways than I had been since high school, doing spinning classes and cardio work and lifting weights. I was doing things, and then it was suddenly gone. And not just gone. It's been a year.
Yeah. And
it's gone. And I'm like, how did that happen? Why? And even worse than how did it happen? Why did I let it happen?
Right.
So, and if anything else, I hope at least mine and your journey can maybe help other people either forego their own fall, or,
right.
If they're in that slump, maybe they can say, you know what, we don't have to give up. Because the only time we really lose is when we give up.
Exactly.
So how about you? What are your goals for the upcoming, since we've started back, what are your do you have any goals for coming forward or going forward?
Yeah, I have a couple goals. I have a short-term goal that I want to reach. I want to be under 200 pounds.
Awesome. By when?
By April 1st. April Fool's Day is what my goal is. If before, great. If not, as long as it's around there, that'd be great.
Right.
And if I only have 18 pounds to lose, realistically, so it's attainable and it's an easy.
How many weeks?
That would be. Shoot. You would ask.
Well, it's at least 8 weeks. I know that.
It's because right now this is the end of January.
Probably 10 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be about 10 to 12 weeks.
So you're looking at trying to lose an average of around 2 pounds a week. A little under.
Right, and my goal is 2 pounds a week, but it doesn't necessarily have to, as long as it averages out to be that much. I thought that was more realistic.
Right.
I was going to say March, but then I thought no, that's not realistic enough for myself. So sometimes you got to hit goals that you think you can actually reach.
Oh, exactly.
Especially short term. You want to hit those so that you keep going. For a long term goal, I want to weigh 170 pounds by the end of August, so that'd be a year from I started the gym. I'd like to weigh 170 pounds, which would be 72 pounds from where I started.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And that's in a year. And I think that it's a pretty attainable.
Yeah.
And I only have 48 to go.
Awesome.
Realistically, I have 48 to go from now, so I can lose 50 pounds in, half a year.
Cool.
Or how many months it is. Probably about 6 months. I would also I've been looking at my BMI and my body mass index. Isn't that what it stands for?
Yep.
Oh, good. I'm smart. Right now, I'm just teetering at a 40 BMI. And if you're over 30 on a BMI, you were considered obese. And if you're under 30 there, it was 20 to 30, you're overweight?
Yes. I think it's like 20. I think it's actually above 20. I think it's like maybe 20.
22?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's 22 to 30. It's overweight. So I think I'd rather be overweight than obese. I've decided. So
Amen. Yeah.
that was my own, and that's my long-term goal is that I'd like to be closer to 830. So off of the obese and just on the overweight.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I've been using too. That website there.
Okay, so normal is 18.5 to 24.9. So 25 to 29.9 is overweight.
Okay.
And then obese is 30 or greater.
30 or greater, right.
And the website you can go to for this is, it looks like NHLBuySupport.com
/BMI.
/BMI, yes.
Okay.
So NHL Buy Support, BISUPPORT.com /BMI. And there's a BMI calculator that will they'll take your height and your weight and kind of take it into consideration. Of course, that's not the most accurate method of getting your BMI. The most accurate is to go to your doctor and talk to them, and they can usually help you either, or even like a local gym sometimes, like a personal trainer.
Right.
They'll be able to do like calipers and such to give you a more accurate BMI. But it's a good start to kind of get an idea of where you're at.
Sitting at.
Yeah. Because I know I think I was at 42. And yeah, and they say anything over 40, they say is extremely dangerous health-wise.
Right. And I'm teetering because I was doing my Wii Fit, and Wii Fit I was teetering at a 40.20 or something. Because you can put your height and weight in, and it kind of gives you your BMI 5'2".
And your weight right now is 900?
218. Even though your scale lied to me, but we'll say 225 so we can accurately do
according
pounds,
according to my scale, you're at 41.1.
In real life.
According to the gym, you're at. Oh, that would be nice, but no, it's not. I put 118.
Oh yeah, I wish. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to be at.
39.9. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. You're kind of right teetering.
I'm right there. So I'm 40, but that's not good.
But you're still obese. Where I'm still obese.
Yeah, I'll be obese.
We would rather be overweight, which is kind of scary and sad.
But yeah, I want my BMI close to a 30 for the cutoff for obese.
Cool.
And if I'm at 170 pounds, it's about a 32 BMI. Mm-hmm. About. So if I'm a little, about right there, that's okay. Mm-hmm. That's a 2. What I say? I said I wanted to be 170. Yeah, 170 at my height was like a 32 BMI.
Cool. So right now, we're kind of at this point where you're doing exercise. And you are following a nutrition plan for your a very basic nutrition plan.
Yeah.
Basically based on calories. You're counting your calories.
Right.
Are you looking at any other anything else when you're doing when you're following your nutrition plan? Is there anything else you pay attention to, or is it just counting calories?
Pretty much calories, but I'm trying to make sure I eat my vegetables.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep I eat a lot of yogurt. I eat a lot of vegetables. I try to eat. I can't get away from meat. I just love meat so much.
Right.
And so I end up having meat at least 1 to 2 times a day.
Right.
But I try to make sure it's lean. meat.
Good.
Yeah, stuff like that. A lot of chicken and stuff that's not as fattening. But
and you're doing a lot of exercise.
Yeah, I'm averaging about 3 times a week.
Good. So I'm pretty much trying to do that. I haven't really gotten back into the exercise as much as I wanted to, but right now I'm following Weight Watchers. But I'm also kind of doing a side type thing where I'm also kind of following Weight Watchers. I'm counting my points. I'm making sure to pay attention to good health guidelines. But I'm also counting my carbs because I'm diabetic. I'm trying to watch my carb intake,
right? Which
has really been difficult, even when we're doing Weight Watchers, because it's like there's so many bad carbs out there.
Yeah.
There's so many processed carbs and things. So I've been trying to stick to more, healthy carbs and things. But so I've been watching my carbs, and I've been trying to do some exercise, though I haven't been doing as much as I want to. And I want to get back into lifting, which is my plan right now. Is basically Weight Watchers, carbs, and exercise. Right now, you're doing calories and exercise.
Right.
And so that's kind of where we're standing right now. where we've talked about where we're going in the future, or hopefully, and we've talked about kind of this past year that we haven't been doing the show. We did get some emails from some people, and just recently, who've obviously found the show here or there or whatever, and they sent us some emails, and I thought I would read them so that we can.
They kind of, I mean, in part, they motivated us to kind of get back on the air. They requested some episodes.
Right, yeah. And one was here from Pam. I won't say their last name, but I just started listening to the podcast called Everyday Losers, but I don't see many episodes. Has this been changed to a different podcast? I really enjoy it and do realize it is from 2008, but want to find more to help me. Pam, yeah, I really want to say thank you for sending that email.
Definitely.
I think for me it really, because we've been talking about getting back into the show.
Right.
We've been talking about, it's time for us, especially since we joined the gym back in August. We're like, it's time for us to get back and do the show because we want, like I said, we want to kind of chronicle our journey. But we've been kind of putting it off. We've both been busy. And then when Pam sent that email, I said to Eva, I'm like, we really should just focus and do this. We need to do this. And we both were like, yeah, we do. We definitely need to do this. So thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for motivating us and giving us and every time we receive an email or a voicemail, it really does motivate us in a way.
It does. It pushes us to keep doing the show.
Exactly.
It makes us to want to keep losing weight, want to keep with our plans, want to not give up and just go back to where we were. Exactly.
It really makes us want to, in a way, I think it's because we see other people out there who obviously, want help.
Right.
And we want to help, and we want their help too, because in a way, it's a group thing.
It is. It's everybody helping each other to try to achieve what they, their goals in weight loss.
Exactly. Then I received another email from Bettina, and it says, "How are you? I discovered your podcast a few days ago, and I was really sad to see you have probably given up." And Bettina, you're right. In a way, we did kind of give up on the podcast for a while, but it wasn't something we gave up on completely because we truly wanted to get back to it. She then says, "I tried Weight Watchers a few years ago and I was always hungry. I like your podcast. You talked about your problems with honesty, so I'm sure you would not speak again, and so it's over. Tell me if you and Eva are going fine, please. Thanks for answering, and I hope you can understand my English." We understood just fine, Bettina. We do appreciate your email as well, because in a way, again, it motivated us and it made us think, there are people out there, who are wondering where we are, what we're doing, and we've stumbled. We've had some
and that's going to happen.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing is we're both picking ourselves up and we're getting back into it and we're getting back into the show, and we're hoping to maybe add some different features here and there. But we are very grateful to both you, Bettina and Pam, for sending us those emails. We encourage any of our listeners to email us. And you can send those emails to everydaylosers@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. And you can find you can actually find links to our Twitter from our website at everydaylosers.blogspot.com. I know Eva's Twitter is twitter.com/EvaCook.
Right.
My Twitter is Twitter.com/Taylor Withers. It's spelled a little differently though because there is no
missing
E.
The E.
Yeah, there's an E at the end of Withers that's out. It's gone. So, but you can find a link to that if you have problems finding it on the website at everydaylosers.blogspot.com. You'll also find our voicemail there. I know the voicemail. I just don't know where it's at, so I can't tell you what it is. But just go to the website and you can give us a call, leave us a message. We'll even play it on the show. But we really appreciate all of your support.
Definitely.
Yes, and we hope that you'll enjoy the upcoming episodes where we're going to talk a lot about different things that we're interested in weight loss.
Things that are helping us in weight loss, things that we want to try and let you know if they work or they don't work.
Exactly.
And give you the option to try it yourself and see if it does work for you. Even if it doesn't work for us, doesn't mean it's not going to work for someone else.
Exactly. We're going to talk about all kinds of different things, good foods, bad foods that we've encountered.
Right.
Experts, articles, things like that. We're just going to discuss anything about weight loss that we can
get our hands on
that we digest.
That we feel is important.
Yeah. So we're hoping that you'll stick around and encourage your friends who might be struggling, or maybe even they're not struggling. Maybe they're succeeding, and we would love their input and their encouragement as well. But until our next show,
I'm Eva Cook.
and I'm Taylor Withers.
And we're the Everyday Losers.